Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about your life.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. You are tuned in to the Vitamin D podcast, and I am your host, Dawn Dai, here to get you excited about your life so that you can live life on purpose and for a purpose. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, let me just say welcome. Thank you for choosing you. Thank you for investing in yourself. And thank you for joining me on this journey of living my and living your best life. Now, vitamin D is a pun off my name. My name is Dawn, which means the sun. So I am here to shed light into your life. And I do that with inspirational insights and conversations with celebrities and everyday people like you and me. And I even use the lyrics of popular music just as a means of finding ways to inspire. You know, there's something to be said about song. You know, it's a movement, it's a vibe. You can hear tracks that you may not even know what they're saying, even understand what they're saying, and you can still rock with it. I don't know. I just like music has a way of carrying. So that's what I want to do. And that's what I do on the Vitamin D podcast. And I've mentioned this before, but I just want to remind you that if you haven't already, make sure you head over to our YouTube page, Dawn Dai Speaks, and check out all of the interviews that we've had on this podcast. And you know, I said interviews, but I like conversations because it's just, folks, we're just talking. We're just talking on ways of how to live our best life. And one thing that I did not mention, I want to make sure I get this across too. When we talk about vitamin D and we talk about shedding light, that means that we're cutting light or shedding light on the good and the bad. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you want to be better and you want to do better, you have to have the ability to see better. And oftentimes that's just seeing ourselves. And one thing about it, when we talk about following the light and we talk about being the light, we heard it when we were younger, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. It gives other people permission to want to shine too. And, you know, it's just like this major bubble that just keeps expanding. It gets larger and larger because everybody can just see better and they're doing better and they're feeling better. And that's what I want for you. And that's what I hope to have for you. And I hope that you have it for yourself. But the reason why I wanted to make sure to mention the whole idea of light and shedding on is that sometimes things can be not so pretty. And only I say not so pretty because it may not be something that you want to look at or something that you want to admit to. But it's like, how can you grow? How can you expect to be more if you don't understand where you are, who you are? And have an idea of where is it you're going. And we have to get to a point, we have to identify that, which leads me kind of what I want to talk about today. You ever heard someone say, it's always something? And then on the flip side, you're going to hear somebody say, everything's all good. Everything's working for your greater good. And it's so interesting because we see it oftentimes when we look at a yin and yang, but I think we can also see it of just looking at the night and the day. Like they coexist with one another. And I think it's the understanding of that. And I guess here recently, I'm sharing because it reached a bit of home for me. Now, I say that because I told you guys before, what it is, was it the episode was entitled New Chapter, Same Journey? You know, Dawn Day, you know, I've released my job and walking this line of figuring it out now. You know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, how you have to release other things to make room for others. And when I tell you, I got game shows that I'm coming on in a couple of weeks. Probably in probably a week or so, you're going to find me on the game show. I can't talk about it right now because I signed an agreement. But if you follow me on social media at Dawn Dai Speaks, I want to let you know that I will be sure to post some clips. But that happened. Then I have the opportunity where I have voiceover gigs that are coming. But then at the same token, I have this whole situation of figuring out what I'm going to do exactly financially, and then some health things to come about. And it's some things that you look at and you be like, oh my gosh, why me? I think we have to start changing the conversation of saying, why not me? So right now I'm at home and here in Los Angeles, California, and I've adjusted a few things, but I am sitting right in front of my vision board. And at the very top in the center, it says, embark on the extraordinary. I have the word congratulations several times on here because that's the season that I chose to be in. I also says, and as I said season, I said the season to celebrate. Make time of your own. I have on here, Women of Color in Media, syndicated honoree. Before I released my job working with the Steve Harvey Morning Show, I'll have you know that I was syndicated on my Saturday What's Happening segment. So it came to fruition. Women of Color in Media. Right before that, I spoke on a panel. And I was represented as a woman of color in media. On here, I said, coming out of the shadows. I see that because even as in my position or as my role on For the Love of Jason, as my opportunity to have the segment on the Steve Harvey Morning Show, What's Happening, even to me having my podcast right now, it's happening. What's happening is what is happening. And on here, I have all access and manifest. I say all that to say, I got to the moment of releasing my job. That was a whole other journey in itself, okay? Then I got a praise report where I'm being featured on Spectrum News for the Groundlings. That's another dream because I'm telling you, I'm coming for SNL. But then at the same token, I'm up here trying to figure out what I'm about to do with my health insurance. On top of the fact of having some health things to come to surface. Now, it's not that I'm holding back. I'm grappling. I'm figuring out if you're going to stay on this journey with me. Some things, we're going to find out together. But I just want to let you know that even in the midst of the celebration, even in the midst of the praise reports, even in the midst of me realizing that all of my wildest dreams are coming true, I'm looking in the sense of, I don't know what's going to happen financially. I don't know how everything's going to pan out with the recent dealings with my health, recent dealings that I'll just give you an idea of the severity. And I don't say that in a way, I'm just showing you how you have to choose to be optimistic. You have to choose to go after. People in my family have died of just what's happening in my life right now. I'm not saying that is my story, but let's just say that it is something that could result in me, exiting this earth. But, one thing I can say about it is that you got to stay on your health and you got to do a check-in. And I talk about that a lot with the Life Bank account. So here I am having this praise report of, being on the television show. Heck, even with the Vitamin D podcast. I said this before, but I started out in New York in my room that I was renting in an apartment under my comforter with my Samsung USB microphone, sweating profusely to come to you live with Vitamin D. And Vitamin D is up in the studio. What is my name? So that's why I just had to say as a reminder that regardless of the oppositions, and I wanted to give you an idea just so that you can understand the gravity of what I'm saying, of just the news that I'm finding about myself, but looking at the praise reports and the strides and how you have to choose to keep going. Because when I'm seeing my vision board and I see on here that I got my dream house, $1 million in cash for the dream house. When I look on my vision board and I can see the pamphlet of the Groundlings, when I look at my vision board and it says, now is the time. Now is the time. That's what I want to say to you. Oftentimes we find ourselves in situations waiting for the perfect situation or opportunity, the perfect landscape, the perfect person, the perfect situation, and not realizing that the only perfect time is right now. It's so interesting how we can bet on something that happened in the past, be so eager to bet on something that's happened in the future, yet we can't even look around to see where we're standing right now. For what is the direction and where we're going, that is going to lead to the trajectory of our lives. So there's no better time now than to live. There's no better time now to go after your dreams. You have to even understanding that even in life, I said how it's always good and it's always something. It's almost like a roller coaster. It's almost like holding on to a ride of your life, because even in the valleys, even in the highs, the dips, the downs, you just have to learn how to stay steady with it. And I think it's because of the downs you can look up. And because you're up, you know what it's like to look down. You understand what I'm saying? It gives you that level of appreciation. It gives you that notice of just understanding how precious time is right now. And that's why you have to keep inspiring. In fact, I don't know if I ever told you, but although, Dawn Day is my name, I even made Day an acronym. Destined to aspire to inspire. Destined, like that was the destiny on it. So I don't know what it is or whatever adversities you're going through, but I am going to be a living testament so that when you hear me say how no matter what is coming at you your way, you got to know where you're going. And you're going to have to push through. And yes, it's going to be hard. Shoot, just me in general, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to pretend like I haven't been stressed out. Oh my gosh, I've been eating my face out. In fact, Jeremiah and I just had chicken tikka marsala with cheesy naan and basmati rice. It was everything. And I'm not saying it's okay, but I am showing myself grace. Perhaps that we need to show our own selves grace a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I feel like we're just so hard on ourselves about things. We don't give ourselves a moment to breathe, a moment to be regular, a moment to say we're understanding, a moment to realize that we're growing, a moment to just saying that, oh my gosh, I'm human. A moment of looking in the mirror and understanding that all that's looking back to you is a human, at least in this form. And with that, that means things are always going to be perfect, but it also lets you know that there's always something to aspire and to grow to. It lets you know that you're still here, so there's a reason for that. Also, just to let you know that time is so precious. I'm grateful because, I found out this whole recent thing of what's going on. I went back to Detroit. My baby, my nephew's birthday, his name is LJ. My baby, 14. I told my trainer, I said, my baby's 14 years old. He said, that ain't no baby. He was like, I could tell you what I was doing at 14. I was like, stop. But even just looking at my nephews and seeing how much they're growing up so fast, it lets you realize the time and how you got to be bold and how, even looking back, I'm telling you all this stuff that's going on. And I say all that, I don't want to put as much brevity on it. I'm just saying the new findings that I'm finding out with my health, that one could have said, hey, you left your job and look what's going on. But perhaps I had to leave that because I could have been so distracted that I didn't take time. So I guess I want to say also, take time with yourself. In fact, I have that on my vision board because I can always be a one to just be a go, go, go. And sometimes you just got to slow that bucket down, as my mama would say. You got to slow it down. I remember I was in middle school and there was a song where I took a music class, probably a singing class. And we combined two songs together. And one song was, slow down, you're moving too fast. You got to make the morning last. And then the other part was like the bird. Do, 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 do. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The whole point is that slow it down some and do that temperature check. And I talk about it oftentimes when I talk about your life bank account. And that's when it's realizing how you are your greatest asset. Because how are you going to understand what your account is doing if you aren't checking in? And I had to do a check-in. And I know that I'm still winning. I know that because the vision is still there. I know that because I can look at my board and I can see the things are manifesting. I got all access to my dreams. And I want you to know that you do too. And I want you to know that whatever it is that you're going through, you are going to have to choose to fight. And I guess I'm looking at it in this perspective as well. It's just the growth that I've done with working out with my trainer. He said something that was so profound. And mind you, his name is Lateef. OM training. He's all about no comfort zones. He's actually going to be coming up on the podcast. So be on the lookout because that's a special treat. But he mentioned to me one time, he said, you are going to get out of it what you put into it. And I think that's how we have to take life. It's what are you willing to put into it? We can understand when it comes down to planting. If you're going to plant an apple seed, you know that you're going to get an apple tree. If you want to plant a cherry bush, you know that you're going to get cherries. And I think that's what we have to realize in life. What are you putting in your life? What is it? Now, I had to ask you that because I'm hoping that it aligns to what you want. Because if it doesn't, I can imagine that you're probably a bit stressed out. You're probably a bit uncomfortable. You're probably a bit frustrated, but remember, you chose it. Where you are right now is a sum of your decisions. Whether that's things that you can change or things that you can't. But you'll also realize is that you have the decision to create the mindset to either get you through, over, or under another situation. It's just all about figuring out what your position is and what is your outlook on life. I mean, we've seen it and it's been told to us so many times of just adversity. And I don't care what you're going through. We can look at the story of Moses. If you've ever been on a boat, if you ever watched a movie and you've seen the water from as far as your eye can see, it's nothing but water. But this man had no other choice but to go through. And I guess the whole point of me saying that is to use that parable as an analogy for your life. Whatever it is, from as far as your eye can see, you might see pain. You might see confusion. You might see disturbance. Whatever it is. Where it seems insurmountable, there is a story that is written eons, thousands of years ago that has been translated in so many other languages to say that no matter what it is that you are going through, you can get through the other side because at one point there was somebody just like you. And if you can ridicule yourself, judge yourself, condemn yourself, for things that you've done in the past, maybe some decisions that you perhaps aren't very proud of, how you can hold on to that. Why don't you hold on to this story too? And understand that somebody that may not be going through exactly what you're going through, but has a picture that can fit the frame of everything that you feel is holding you in right now. And they got through. So what you going to choose? Are you going to sink or swim? Are you going to run or walk? Are you going to talk or be silent for whatever it is that you want? I often say that sometimes you got to break in order to get through. That's why they call it a breakthrough. Sometimes you got to fall apart so you can be put back together, piece by piece. PEACE by PIECE. Piece by piece. That's what I want for you. And I want you to put your mosaic so beautifully together. And keep in mind, whenever you feel in doubt, always remember what allows a diamond to shine are the multitudes of cuts that have been placed within it. You are that diamond. You were created with so much stronghold of just so much diversity, all of this pressure, things that have chipped away from you. But guess what? You've chosen to step into the light, and you had to step into the light because you've chosen to be better. You've chosen to do better. And so therefore you can see better. And when you gave yourself permission to shine, you shine. And people stand in awe of your beauty, of everything that you were able to overcome. And oftentimes, the many more cuts that you have. What is it? Depression? What is it? Poverty? What is it? Abuse? What is it? Neglect? What is it? Gluttony? What is it? Addiction? That you've chosen to keep going, that you've chosen to stay strong, that you've chosen to step in the light. And now we just see your reflection. You just bounce off because there's nowhere to hide. I guess that's what it means to come out of the shadows. That's what it means to book your next dream. That's what it really means to honor yourself, your body, your mind, and your soul. That's what I would say is the true wealth. That's why out of every account that you can ever have in your life, understand the value of your life bank account. And the currency, I'd say, is time. How about that? The way you make transactions in your life bank account is on your time. So now it's about, are you spending time for yourself? Are you spending time for your dreams? Are you wasting time on other people? Are you wasting yourself in the wallow? Did you decide to breathe in oxygen or did you decide to drown yourself? Guess what? Notice I said, what did you decide? Make the decision. Be fluid with it. Don't judge yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be the reminder of what it is that you want for yourself. You got everything around you to tell you what you can't do. You got everything around you to discourage you, and then you have everything you need inside of you. What? You ever notice, honestly, okay, and then let me get off my whole spiel real quick, but you ever notice how in the moments of confusion, it's because you're looking around everywhere, up and down and all the way around, backwards, left to right. And people are like, hey, listen, if you want to have peace, if you want to feel free, if you want to ease your mind, just go within. Oh, sometimes you hear this prayer. Oh, sometimes it's called meditation. I just call it getting real with yourself. I call it taking time. I call it coming out the shadows because I think sometimes we hide from ourselves. Get that? Imagine hiding from yourself. Imagine running away from yourself, yet the start and the finish are in the same location. Now that's an insanity move right there. And we oftentimes do that. And it looks in the whole sense of saying what it is we want, but doing something that garnered something else. So what do you want? No, better yet, what do you choose? Because we can say we want one thing, but what are you choosing for your life? Every decision that you make, every person that you allow yourself to surround yourself with, every opportunity that you decide to seize or to let go, ask yourself this. Does this support the person I aspire to be? That's how you're going to know if it's for you. It's going to make you feel good and it's going to be good for you. It's going to be in alignment with everything that you want. Even despite the naysayers, even despite the prognosis, even despite the last battle wounds, you know what it is that you want because you're a champion. And champions don't stop. Champions just know how many ways not to fail. Or better yet, how many ways you can fail until they win. So I see a winner. I see a champion inside of you. And I just want to let you know that no matter what it is that you're going through, because, hey, I told you my story, you're going to have to choose and you're going to have to fight. And you're going to have to keep going because you know that the promise is on your life. Yeah, I'm serious. Get it. Go after it. Stop wallowing in it. It wouldn't even bother you, if, truth be told. It wouldn't even bother you if you weren't deserving of it. It wouldn't even bother you if it wasn't that important. So why are you trying to act like, that you don't want it that bad? By making all these excuses, by allowing other people to tell you no, by allowing people to tell you who you are. Stop. Don't even allow that fake voice in your head to tell you a lie. Because if it was the truth, you would know it by the way that it feels. The truth is the light. And the light sheds light on the good and the bad. Choose the light, choose you, and choose life. Hey, now listen, because I done told you all what's going on too, I want you to, if this resonated with you, anything that I've said, any past episodes, can you make sure you tell your friends to tell their friends and to tell their friends about us? We got to get our subscriber numbers up, okay? I'm being everything that I'm telling you to be and everything that I aspire, and I'm saying to go after your dreams. I've let it all go to go after my dreams. And if this speaks to you, if this does anything for you, even just me on my journey of my dreams, tell somebody to subscribe to the Vitamin D with Dawn Dai podcast. We got to get the subscribers up so we can get this money, so I can keep doing this and being fulfilled and to keep inspiring people, because I know I do it. I meet so many people, they're like, your energy is contagious. And I know it's contagious because it feels good to feel good. So when they're feeling good, I'm feeling good. So I hope I can get your support with that. Vitamin D with Dawn Dai got a studio. Don't tell me it's not possible. And guess what? It's only going to get bigger and better. And like I said, if you want to check out some of these awesome interviews, head over to YouTube and go ahead and check out Dawn Dai Speaks. And you're going to see all the conversations from the Vitamin D with Dawn Dai podcast. I hope you like it. And I also want to say this. I want to encourage you, if you need some advice, It can be on relationships. It can be on your career. It can be about life. Whatever. I want you to email me. VitaminD@DawnDaiSpeaks.com. Okay? VitaminD@DawnDaiSpeaks.com. Jeremiah will be in the bag. Ian will be in the bag. And I'm going to be right here answering the questions, giving some advice. I'm telling you, I'm keeping it real. So it ain't about being nice and whatever you want to think you want to hear, because that's not how you got to be better. If you got to be better, you got to do better. Also, I hope that you're checking out the other episodes. So along with what we do on our Monday edition, where we have like pretty much a lengthy conversation, the other episodes are quick doses, as we call them, but following the lines of how vitamin D originally started, using the lyrics of popular music and intertwining them into a motivational message. Go check it out. They're about a minute, 2 minutes. Listen to it on the go. Sometimes you need a charge up in the morning, maybe a charge down at night. Have something that sounds good in your ear so you feel good. Get your dose of vitamin D and get your light and get your life. And in the meantime, if you still want to stay inspired and you would like to keep up and follow me in what's going on, I want to encourage you to follow me at Dawn Dai Speaks on all social media. Okay? I got some exciting things coming up, and I'm excited for what's happening. Not even what's to come. What's happening in my life. My story is being written. I'm telling you, I'm about to make history. We're about to make history. I'm about to do something that's never been done before, even despite kind of this whirlwind or this circle, this whatever this is going around. I know it's only creating for my story for what's to come. And I've already declared greatness. I look at my vision board and I just see, congratulations. So say it to yourself today. Tell yourself you love yourself and show how much you appreciate. And I want to say that I appreciate my team, Jeremiah, Ian, L, and Brian, who make us all sound good. And Laura, she's our new team member, holding everything down. We're in the studio. It's about to be crazy. All right, y'all. I done held y'all enough. Y'all know what it is. It's Vitamin D with Dawn Dai. Make sure you tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody else. And until next time, I want you to always remember that you are your greatest asset.